They laughed at her the moment she stepped into the grand wedding hall, her heart sinking with every whisper and snicker. The chandeliers sparkled above, casting a light that only seemed to highlight her round figure and the anxious sweat on her palms. At 28, Emma had always felt invisible, the world teaching her to shrink, to apologize for taking up space. And tonight, surrounded by perfectly dressed bridesmaids and elegant guests, she felt every inch of herself exposed. Yet, she had promised her niece she'd be there, promised herself that she would try to be present despite the years of quiet torment and body shaming that had left invisible scars on her heart. If you believe in kindness and second chances, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Grandma Dearie, because this story is all about the power of human compassion. The music swelled, the clinking of glasses filled the air, and Emma moved cautiously toward an empty seat at the far end of the hall. But the whispers followed her like shadows. Some shook their heads in disbelief at her size, some giggled, thinking her awkward attempts to navigate the polished floor were amusing. Every laugh was a needle in her skin, every glance a reminder that she didn't fit the mold society celebrated. Her hands shook slightly as she held onto her clutch, trying to make herself invisible, wishing she could just vanish behind the towering flower arrangements and glittering table settings. In the midst of the shallow laughter, a small child ran past, bumping into her chair. Emma flinched, expecting a giggle or a reprimand. Instead, she felt a hand gently touch her arm. It was Michael, a single dad she had known from her niece's school. He was tall, with kind eyes that seemed to see right through the layers of self-doubt she had wrapped around herself for decades. His little daughter clung to his side, and he gave Emma a smile that felt like a lifeline. She hadn't seen him in years, but in that instant, it was as if he had stepped out of her memories to rescue her from the humiliation suffocating the room. The laughter grew louder when a group of young women nearby began making cruel remarks about Emma's weight. Her chest tightened, tears threatening to spill. But Michael stepped forward, standing firmly between her and the jeering crowd. His voice, calm but commanding, carried over the music and chatter. He didn't shout, he didn't mock. He simply reminded them that beauty wasn't measured by the inches around a waist or the fit of a dress. He spoke of empathy, of decency, of the simple fact that everyone deserved respect. And as he spoke, the crowd's laughter faltered, replaced by an uncomfortable silence that hummed like a tensioned wire. Emma felt something shift inside her, a spark of courage she hadn't known she had. Michael didn't just protect her from the ridicule, he reminded her that she had value, that she mattered. The warmth in his eyes and the gentle support of his presence anchored her to the moment, grounding her in the realization that she could reclaim her dignity without shrinking away. She lifted her chin, took a deep breath, and walked toward the center of the room with him beside her. Every step felt like a rebellion against a lifetime of shame, and with each footfall, the snickers around her grew quieter, replaced by astonished, curious glances. Through the night, Emma found herself laughing again, really laughing, for the first time in years. Michael and his daughter included her in their conversations, shared stories that made her smile, and reminded her that life could hold moments of genuine warmth and connection, even in places she had once feared. People began to notice not just her courage but her kindness and humor, the qualities that had always existed beneath the surface, overlooked because the world had been too quick to judge her by appearances. By the end of the wedding, Emma had formed new friendships, exchanged numbers, and even danced under the glittering lights. She realized that the laughter that once haunted her could no longer hold power over her. She had faced it, had been shielded by unexpected compassion, and had emerged stronger and more confident than she had felt in a long time. Michael had shown her that some people are willing to stand up for what is right, that one act of kindness can change the course of someone's evening, perhaps even their life. If this story touched your heart, if you've ever felt invisible or underestimated, please engage with this video. Like, share, and comment, let your voice remind the world that empathy matters more than cruelty. And before you go, I have a special request, leave a comment telling us about a moment when someone's kindness changed your life, no matter how small. As the guests began to leave, Emma glanced back at the grand hall, its chandeliers twinkling like distant stars, and she realized she wasn't the same person who had walked in trembling. She had discovered her own worth through the courage of another, through the gentle but unwavering support of someone who refused to let her be humiliated. And in that realization, she found a deep, quiet joy, the kind that didn't depend on the approval of others, the kind that came from standing tall, owning her space, and knowing that true beauty is measured by the heart, not by appearances.